Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of themoviewizard.com, and let's go back to an audio commentary podcast thing. Let's take a break from looking at my ugly fat head for a few moments. Let's also talk about Dragon Ball Evolution. For those of you who do not know what Dragon Ball Evolution is, it is a live-action adaptation of a very popular anime and manga that is considered, at the very least, a personal fan favorite for a lot of people. I personally have grown up with it. I love it, but I acknowledge that writing-wise, it got a little silly later on. That usually wouldn't be against it because the series started out really silly, but it got really, really silly later on. Well, anyway, Derek Padula, author of the Tao of Dragon Ball book and screenwriter for the Dragon Ball Z Light of Hope live-action pilot, contacted the Dragon Ball Z Evolution live-action film scribe Ben Ramsey for his next upcoming book, USA DBZ. Now, the reason he reached out to Ben was because this upcoming book is going to have a chapter focusing on the development of Dragon Ball Evolution, which is a film that was a failure on every level. Fans hated it because it wasn't a faithful adaptation, and people who had never seen Dragon Ball before, they didn't know what the heck to make of it. So, trust me, folks, if you want a movie example on just how bad you can start a franchise and fail, this is it. Amazingly, though, not only did Ramsey respond to Padula's interview request, he also apologized to the fans for the movie. And I quote, "I knew that it would eventually come down to this one day. Dragon Ball Evolution marked a very painful creative point in my life. To have something with my name on it as the writer be so globally reviled is gut-wrenching. To receive hate mail from all over the world is heartbreaking. I spent so many years trying to deflect the blame, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to the written word on page, and I take full responsibility for what was such a disappointment to so many fans." No kidding. That was my comment, not him. "I did the best I could, but at the end of the day, I dropped the Dragon Ball." And by the way, that was also him. That was not me. "I went into the project chasing after a big payday, not as a fan of the franchise, but as a businessman taking on an assignment. I have learned that when you go into a creative endeavor without passion, you come out with suboptimal results, and sometimes flat out garbage. So I'm not blaming anyone for Dragon Ball but myself. As a fanboy of other series, I know what it's like to have something you love and anticipate be so disappointing. To all the Dragon Ball fans out there, I sincerely apologize. I hope I can make it up to you by creating something really cool and entertaining that you will like, and that is also something I am passionate about. That's the only work I do now." So first of all, I want to say bravo. Bravo. Thank you. I'm glad someone apologized for it. This is a movie that's so bad it has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama himself, expressed dissatisfaction in the film. In fact, he hated the film so much that, all those new Dragon Ball movies and TV shows we've been getting, it's pretty much a direct response to this movie because he didn't want that to be the final word on Dragon Ball. So, Ben, I just want to say right now, apology accepted. Thank you for your sincere words. I wish you the best of luck in the future, and I don't hold it against you. In fact, I appreciate the apology so much. Now, I'm going to take a moment to defend you and tell you right now that Dragon Ball Evolution is not likely entirely your fault. First of all, if your script was really as garbage as you say it is, and I haven't read the original script, and I don't want to claim the writing's bad on the screenplay level just because I know scripts get changed all the time during post-production and even during pre-production, but the director of the film didn't have to use it. The director can take a bad script and tweak it to the extent to where it actually works. If you've ever seen Up in the Air by Jason Reitman, a great George Clooney movie, very good. If you haven't seen it, definitely see it. But if you read the stories, when they first got the screenplay, apparently it was terrible. It was so bad that Reitman, the director, rewrote it extensively until it worked, and it ended up getting an Oscar nomination. The director for Dragon Ball Evolution could have done that. Also, the casting wasn't that great. If you looked chronologically of where the story took place, they should have hired like a 13-year-old or a 10-year-old to play Goku, not a 17-year-old. For that matter, Goku wasn't a high-spirited kid. He was a one of those angsty teen doubters. So, I mean, maybe that's connected to your screenplay, but there were so many elements that it wasn't working. However, the one reason I'm going to defend you now, and it's going to be for this is my honest opinion. People can totally disagree with me as much as they want. I anticipate they will, but here it is to all you Dragon Ball fans, to Ben. I do not believe Dragon Ball will ever make a good live action movie. I mean, just look at it. It has a bunch of explosions, people flying, monkey mystical lands. I mean, there is so much of it that is not based in reality that the only way to make a Dragon Ball movie, I think, is to make it animated. And if you were to make it live action, the best you could hope is to make a mostly CGI film that sort of works. But what would the point be? Why even put yourself through the stress of having actors if you're going to make so much of the film a cartoon anyway? Dragon Ball Evolution was mostly green screen. It was never going to be a good movie. I don't think Dragon Ball will ever make a good movie. I still have hope that maybe a Sailor Moon or a Pokemon movie could be a good live action movie, but Dragon Ball is so fanatical in every aspect from the character designs to the fighting to the locations that I do not believe we should ever attempt to make another live action movie. Just keep it in animation. That's totally fine. The animated movies are doing just fine without the live action movie. So, what do you fans think? Do you accept Ben's apology? Do you hate the movie as much as he says? Heck, are there anyone out there who actually like Dragon Ball Evolution? And why? I'd like to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.